The Donetsk battlefield in June 2024 remained a relentless inferno, where fierce clashes painted eastern Ukraine's soil red. Bilohorivka, a small town just miles from the front line, emerged as a strategic focal point as Russian forces pushed to expand control, aiming to breach Ukraine's defenses and advance deeper into the region. Northeast of the town, about 1.9 miles away, a narrow stream, only 3.9 feet wide, flowed quietly, unmarked on Russian military maps. This stream, with muddy banks 14 inches deep from persistent rains between June 8 and 10, and a slope of 15 to 18 degrees, seemed harmless but concealed a deadly trap. Flanking the stream were low hills, 65 to 82 feet high, sparsely vegetated, forming a natural choke point where a single misstep could spell disaster. Ukraine's 54th Brigade, a battle-hardened unit with over 3 years of combat experience in Donbass, established fortified defensive positions 0.9 to 1.2 miles west of the stream, concealed in sparse forests and camouflaged bunkers draped with netting and branches. The 1st Mechanized Battalion, tasked with securing northern Bilohorivka, positioned its fighting posts to control all eastern approaches. Supported by a robust reconnaissance network combining UAVs and human intelligence, Ukraine maintained heightened vigilance, ready to counter any Russian move. The Guardian reported that Ukraine's integrated intelligence systems enabled rapid responses, exploiting Russian tactical errors and turning terrain disadvantages into lethal advantages. The engagement began at dawn on June 12, 2024, when a Ukrainian reconnaissance team, positioned on an 82-foot hill 2,300 feet west of the stream, detected unusual movement in the darkness. The 5-man team, equipped with 2 DJI Mavic 3 UAVs, each weighing 1.98 pounds with 4K Hasselblad cameras, 9.3-mile signal range, 46-minute flight time, and fog-penetrating capabilities, also used a FLIR 1020 infrared device with 1024 by 768 resolution, detecting heat signatures from vehicles within 1.2 miles, even in 656-foot visibility fog. As dawn broke, the team spotted faint heat signatures moving from the east, 2.5 miles from the stream. A DJI Mavic 3 was launched, flying at 394 feet to evade Russian radar like the Krasuka 4, which detects targets above 656 feet. Footage from the UAV's camera, displayed on a 7-inch handheld screen, revealed a Russian convoy of 5 BMP-2 vehicles, each 22 feet long, 10.3 feet wide, armed with a 2A-42 30mm autocannon with 500 rounds, firing 550 rounds per minute, and 4 9M113 Konkurs anti-tank missiles with a 2.5-mile range. Accompanying them were 3 Ural 4320 trucks, each carrying 10-12 infantry, totaling about 30 soldiers, without air defense systems like MANPADS or Tor M2. The convoy moved in a single-file formation on a narrow 12.5-foot dirt road at 10.6 miles per hour, with BMP-2 vehicles spaced 33-39 feet apart, showing a lack of caution and no forward reconnaissance. Reuters noted that Russia's overconfidence, especially moving through unfavorable terrain without air defense, was a fatal tactical error. The reconnaissance team activated the UAV's recording mode and tracked the convoy via the screen. The BMP-2 vehicles moved slowly, showing no signs of detecting the low-flying UAV. The dirt road to the stream, with clay sand mud at 60% moisture post-rain, posed an obvious hazard Russia seemed unprepared for. The UAV, maintained at 328 feet using a 5.8 GHz frequency to avoid jamming, continued observing as the convoy approached within 0.6 miles of the stream. Via the encrypted Harris Falcon 3 AN-PRC-152 radio with UHF/VHF bands and AES-256 encryption, the team reported to headquarters. The 1st Mechanized Battalion, 7.5 miles southwest, received the alert. Russian convoy, 5 BMP-2, 3 trucks, northeast, 0.6 miles from the stream. No air defense. UAV data streamed to the Krapiva digital mapping system, displaying the convoy's position on a 3D model with 6.6-foot accuracy. Imagery confirmed the absence of Russian air defense or jamming radar, with BMP-2 vehicles too closely spaced, making them vulnerable to a surprise attack. As the Russian convoy neared the stream, the lead BMP-2, commanded by a Russian sergeant, descended the bank at 7.5 miles per hour, confident the terrain posed no challenge. But its 11.8-inch steel tracks sank into the 60% moisture clay sand mud, halting after just 4.9 feet. The driver revved the engine, splattering mud, but the vehicle sank 15.7 inches deeper, tilting 12 degrees right, blocking the path. The trailing BMP-2 vehicles, receiving no halt signal, continued forward, forming a stalled line, with the 5th BMP-2 148 feet from the stream. About 30 Russian infantry dismounted to assess, carrying shovels and cables to free the vehicle, but the narrow terrain, flanked by 65-foot hills, prevented effective deployment or retreat. Some soldiers dug, but the sticky clay slowed progress. The reconnaissance team, from their hilltop vantage, recognized a prime opportunity. Via radio, they urgently reported, "Target stuck, 5 BMP-2, 3 trucks, single file, infantry in disarray, request immediate strike." UAV footage at 328 feet confirmed no Russian air defense like Pantsir S-1 or jamming radar. Russian infantry clustered in groups of 4 to 6, struggling to free the lead BMP-2 as trailing vehicles crowded, worsening the chaos. The Guardian described this as a textbook example of Russia's vulnerability to Ukraine's precise strikes in unfavorable terrain. At the 1st Mechanized Battalion's headquarters, a fortified bunker 7.5 miles from Bilohorivka, the commander received the report. The bunker buzzed with disciplined urgency as officers gathered around the Krapiva screen, showing the Russian convoy trapped in a 213-foot choke point, with the lead BMP-2 sunk 15.7 inches and trailing vehicles unable to maneuver due to surrounding hills. The commander, with 3 years of Donbass combat experience, summoned UAV and Javelin teams via the Harris Falcon 3 system. Based on Krapiva data, the commander assessed that the 20-30 minutes the Russians were stuck offered a window for a lightning strike. "We have 25 minutes before Russian artillery or air support arrives. Hit fast, hit hard," he ordered firmly. Terrain analysis confirmed the stream's 16-degree slope, 14-inch mud layer, and 11.5-foot wide path, trapping the 16.2-ton BMP-2 vehicles. The decision was made. A dual strike combining FPV UAVs and Javelin missiles to destroy the convoy before Russia could react, maximizing surprise. Within 4 minutes, Forces split into 3 groups. The first, a 10-man FPV UAV team, wielded 16 custom-built FPV UAVs, each 3.1 pounds, with a 74.6 mile/hour top speed, 4.3-mile range, 10 carrying 2.2-pound high-explosive warheads, equivalent to 3.3 pounds TNT, and 6 with 1.8-pound armor-piercing warheads, penetrating 0.98-inch RHA steel at 328 feet per second. These drones used carbon frames, 2207-2400 kV brushless motors, 1000 TVL FPV cameras, and 4S 1500 mAh LiPo batteries for 8-minute flights. They were tasked to attack from the northwest, 320-degree angle, targeting BMP-2 engine compartments, 0.59-inch armor, and turrets, 0.98-inch armor. The second group, a 4-man Javelin team, carried 2 FGM-148F Javelin launchers, each 49.2 pounds, with 3.6-foot missiles, 5-inch diameter, 18.5-pound tandem heat warheads, penetrating 23.6 to 31.5 inches RHA, and a 1.6-mile range. They deployed from the southwest, 235-degree angle, 2,460 feet from the target, aiming top-down. The third group, the 5-man reconnaissance team, held their western hill position 1,640 feet from the stream, using 2 DJI Mavic 3 UAVs and a Litef LR-1 mobile radar, 3.1-mile range, for real-time coordination. Preparations unfolded rapidly within 8 minutes, with seamless team coordination. The FPV UAV team, based 1.2 miles from the stream, tested 16 drones in a forest workshop. Each drone's battery, camera, and warhead, 10 high-explosive with 16.4-foot kill radius, 6 armor-piercing penetrating 0.98-inch steel, was verified. Drones were programmed to fly at 164 feet on 5.8 gigahertz to evade Krasuka 4 jamming. The Javelin team, at a bunker 0.9 miles from the stream, checked 2 launchers and 4 missiles, ensuring the 640 by 512 infrared CLU cameras functioned. Their firing position on a 92-foot hill camouflaged with netting and hay offered a clear view of the stream. The reconnaissance team maintained Harris Falcon 3 contact, updating Kropiva every 20 seconds for precise data. The Javelin, with its fire and forget and top attack capabilities, was ideal for rapid ambushes, especially with UAV support. Operations commenced in dense fog with 656-foot visibility. The 10-man FPV UAV team, using 2 Kozak-2 armored vehicles at 59 miles per hour, reached a sparse forest 0.8 miles from the stream in 7 minutes. They set up a camouflaged command post with 3 10-inch FPV screens and 2 laptops running Kropiva, displaying the Russian formation in 3D. The 4-man Javelin team, via 1 Kozak-2, reached the southwest hill in 5 minutes, digging 31.5-inch foxholes camouflaged with rocks and grass. The reconnaissance team stayed put, deploying a second DJI Mavic 3 at 328 feet for continuous imagery. All teams used forest camouflage netting, moving swiftly and silently in the fog to mask their actions. As the lead BMP-2 sank 15.7 inches into mud and the Russian formation descended into chaos with infantry scattered and trailing vehicles gridlocked, the commander ordered the strike. The FPV UAV team launched 10 drones from the northwest 320-degree angle at 164 feet and 52.8 miles per hour. Each drone, controlled via RunCam FPV goggles and Radio-Link AT-10I controllers with 0.02-second lag, targeted precisely. The first, carrying a 2.2-pound high-explosive warhead, struck the lead BMP-2's 0.59-inch rear armor, igniting its 122-gallon fuel tank in a 13-foot fireball. The blaze, with 49-foot black smoke plumes, obscured Russian infantry digging below, their panic echoing across the valley. A second drone, with a 1.8-pound armor-piercing warhead, hit the second BMP-2's turret, 39 feet away, at 49.7 miles per hour, penetrating 0.98-inch armor and detonating 160 30mm rounds in a 19.7-foot fireball, incinerating the vehicle in 26-foot flames. Thick smoke merged with fog, choking the battlefield. A third drone, with a high-explosive warhead, struck the third BMP-2's engine, 33 feet away, at 180 feet, igniting its fuel tank in a 23-foot blaze, neutralizing the vehicle. Dense smoke blanketed the scene, amplifying Russian disarray. A fourth drone, with an armor-piercing warhead, targeted the fourth BMP-2's turret, retreating at 3.1 miles per hour, at 289 feet and 54.7 miles per hour, damaging the 2A-42 cannon and optics, rendering it combat ineffective but not detonating its ammunition. While BMP-2 vehicles burned, a fifth drone, with a high-explosive warhead, hit Russian infantry near the third BMP-2, digging mud at 131 feet and 55.9 miles per hour, killing most in a 16.4-foot radius, scattering survivors in panic. Another drone, high explosive, targeted infantry near a Ural 4320 truck 98 feet from the stream at 148 feet and 52.8 miles per hour, inflicting heavy casualties and collapsing Russian cohesion, with survivors fleeing toward a forest 492 feet away amid continuous explosions. A seventh drone, armor-piercing, struck the fifth BMP-2's engine 148 feet from the stream at 49.7 miles per hour, disabling its drivetrain with smoke signaling defeat. Two more drones, both high explosive, targeted fleeing Russian infantry near the forest edge, decimating their formations and driving survivors deeper into the woods, abandoning weapons and comrades. The final drone, armor-piercing, was held in reserve as the Russian formation collapsed, with BMP-2 vehicles burning or immobilized and infantry routed. In under 3 minutes, the FPV UAV team reduced the Russian convoy to wreckage and smoke, setting the stage for the Javelin team's finishing blow. The Javelin team, from the southwest at 235 degrees, 2,460 feet away on a 92-foot hill, fired from foxholes 26 feet apart, camouflaged with netting. A Javelin FGM-148F missile targeted the 4th BMP-2, already damaged, at 492 feet and 915 feet per second, locking via CLU infrared, showing a 392-degree engine. Its tandem heat warhead pierced the 0.98-inch turret, detonating 30mm rounds in a 19.7-foot blast, killing nearby infantry in an 82-foot shockwave and 19.7 flames. A second Javelin missile targeted the third BMP-2, damaged but repairable, following a curved trajectory, piercing its turret and detonating remaining rounds in a 19.7-foot explosion, ensuring its destruction. Smoke rose, blending with fog, as the final blast signaled victory. The operation, coordinated via Krapiva and Harris Falcon III, saw the FPV UAV team disrupt the Russians from the northwest at 320 degrees, scattering infantry for the Javelin team's southwest 235-degree strikes. Missiles launched 15 seconds apart maximized impact, with reconnaissance providing real-time UAV data on Krapiva with 6.6-foot accuracy. In 5 minutes, 4 BMP-2 vehicles were destroyed, 1 heavily damaged, and 20 to 25 Russian infantry killed, with survivors fleeing into a forest 492 feet away. As smoke rose and explosions faded, the reconnaissance team deployed a second DJI Mavic 3 at 394 feet, capturing 4K footage of the carnage. 4 BMP-2 vehicles burned out, turrets and engines destroyed, 1 immobilized with broken tracks, and Russian bodies scattered within 164 feet. Smoke rose 65 feet, merging with fog in a grim war tableau. The commander ordered a swift withdrawal. The FPV UAV team packed 16 drones and screens into Kozak-2 vehicles in 3 minutes, retreating 6.2 miles via a forest road at 55.9 miles per hour. The Javelin team dismantled launchers, loaded them into a Kozak-2, and withdrew southwest, camouflaged with netting. The reconnaissance team, last to leave, used a Polaris RZR at 49.7 miles per hour, carrying the Litev LR-1 radar and 2 DJI Mavic 3 UAVs over rugged hills. All teams used L3 Harris Vampire jammers on 2.4 to 5.8 GHz to block Russian radio detection, moving in forest-camouflaged Kozak-2 vehicles through thick fog without a trace. The Bilohorivka engagement, reported by Ukraine Today on July 21, 2025, via sharp 4K video, marked a resounding Ukrainian victory, both militarily and morally. 5 Russian BMP-2 vehicles were destroyed or crippled, 4 burned out, 1 immobilized, with 20 to 25 Russian soldiers killed and survivors fleeing into the forest. Ukraine's forces, with flawless coordination and rapid decisions, suffered no casualties. The Guardian, Reuters, and BBC cited the battle as proof of Ukraine's agility and innovation against a numerically superior foe. Video from Suchi Mesta showed black smoke rising from BMP-2 wreckage, blending with fog, a stark warning that a 3.9-foot stream could decide fates. As dawn faded, this victory stood not just as a military triumph, but as a blazing symbol of Ukraine's unyielding spirit, a fire unquenched by any challenge, however severe.